welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm inspired to be here. We should be this full every Sunday. Oh, it's my pleasure to welcome you here today. At Unity of New West, we believe that everyone is welcome. Everyone in all walks, by all faiths, whoever you choose to love. You're not only welcome, but just to be celebrated. And so I'd like you to just look around and see who's here that you're going to celebrate today. No, just look at Rev Rhona. Look around at everybody because you've all played a part. You've all played your part. Now you might think, oh no, I haven't played any part. I've never even been here before. Well, you're here today. And we welcome you. A very special welcome to Rhona's family. So would you mind, I invite you to just raise your hand if you're part of Rhona's family.
Sorry.
Nice, friends. Come on in, there's one seat up there. And there's one.
It's kind of tight, but there's one here.
Okay. We wish you a very warm welcome. Let us begin our time together with prayer. I invite you, if you're comfortable, to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Allow that energy to settle in your heart. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for this precious, precious day. Thank you for Rev Rhona. And we honor the journey that she's been on, culminating with an ordination. Thank you, sweet, sweet Spirit, for each person present today. Thank you that they bless us with their presence. We've all played our part. And I invite you to just take a moment. Take a deep breath. There's a song we sing here. Up, up, up. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Let us take a moment and feel your soul rising to a higher place. To a place that knows and trusts. To a place that celebrates and accepts each person, each contribution on this our day of ordination. Take a moment and reflect. Offer your appreciation and your love. And we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen, and so it is. Amen. I'd like to introduce a couple of people who are going to be conducting our ceremonial prayer of service today. Reverend Julie Monte. Julie was formerly a minister at White Rock and formerly past president of the Unity of Association of Canada. No,
Yes.
of Canada. And been there, done that. She got a T-shirt. Also, the past president of the Unity Worldwide Movement. And then we have our current president, Reverend Vicki Vanderhurst, who has a ministry in Comox. They will be doing part of the service today, starting with Reverend Julie.
Good morning. Good morning. I have to have some warnings up front. I'm retired now. And when you go into retirement, I know a few of you are in retirement time now, time becomes very different. It's like everything becomes slower. So I'm going to try and talk fast and break my retirement time mindset. One of my favorite people we're honoring today in the world. And she is not only was my congregant for 12 years, she was also one of our favorite guest speakers. She did all kinds of things in our ministry, so that she was very, very well-rounded by the time she got to ministerial school. I think it was probably the first person she shared that little seed idea that she would like to be a unity minister. And that's always a great honor for a minister. I mean, there's nothing that honors us more that someone else wants to follow and do this great work. This is not a small job. This is the big job. But it takes someone with grace. You know, grace is an aspect in our Bible that talks about a free gift from God. Grace comes in to save us when we can't see any way out of this mess. We can ask for grace, and grace comes through. And I think Rhona expresses grace and graciousness both in such a profound way. She changes people's life just by her presence. She's an incredible listener. And the thing that doesn't happen very often with ministers is that they find someone in their church that they can so absolutely trust that they can be friends with them. They can let their words show and their, skewed ideas. They're a person you can test ideas out on and say, is that really dumb? And they'll tell you the truth. Rhona's like that. Some of the aspects of becoming a great minister in any denomination is having compassion. Being willing to stop what you're doing when someone else is in crisis, no matter what that was, and listen with respect and with love and with compassion. And that is something my dear friend Rhona does perfectly. Absolutely beautifully. She's helped me grow, I've helped her grow, and we have, moved along this path together. And the thing that's interesting is you think that when someone's getting ordained, they know it all. They know everything about ministry. They know how to keep you all in line and moving in the same direction, going the same place, doing everything happily and joyfully. But until you start doing it, you find out that that is not the truth. The truth is, there are some really big mountains sometimes we have to get through, or tunnel under, or go around. There's a lot of things that happen in church that don't happen in ministerial school. So you can't practice. So you get out here and you're ordained and everybody thinks you know something, and about the first week you realize you really don't know much. when you have, like Joy expressed so well, a beautiful congregation that supports and grabs the unity principles and tries to live them in their life at the very highest way, you find a church that is healthy. Doesn't mean people don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean people don't get their feelings hurt over things. It doesn't mean that we don't have some bumps and bruises. But if we embrace those principles, the principles are so good that you can get through anything if you follow. And that is one thing I will always trust, that no matter what happens, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how crazy it sounds, Rhona will turn back to unity principles and find a way clear. Grace is a free gift from God. Rhona is the expression of grace for so many people because she is a gift of love, a gift of compassion, a gift of listening, a gift of caring. And so you are all very, very lucky. Imagine winning the lottery. You have. You know, I love her as much as you love her, and everybody I know that knows her loves her, and that is the most wonderful place to start from than any place else. And that's because she gathers people. She gathers them to her and to her heart, and she cares about them, and she is so patient, so kind, so loving. Wow. You're going to have a fun ride. Thank you so much for having this beautiful being be your minister. And love her with your whole heart. Trust her in her guidance, because it's always a wonderful North Star. And be your own special minister yourself. God bless you all.
That leads me right into what I want to share, and that is how this is our ordination. I see different faces sitting there. I understand there's a group from Linwood, Washington have come to be with Rhona this morning. I did. And then it comes to some White Rock people. And any other people? From the island? Yeah. A special welcome back to Rev Rhona Segarra. It was when Rev Rhona stepped aside that the opening came, and I was the first person that Jerry invited to speak. I didn't know what to say then because was it 5 years, Brian? 5 years?
A bit more than that. About 5 years ago
About 5 years ago.
or so.
So let's just do a little history lesson and see. There are some people I would like to acknowledge and appreciate particularly today, and starting with Walt. He's hiding behind the camera there. Need I say more? Walt is Rhona's beloved husband, who has lived every moment of this journey with her. And then there's Alexandra. Where's Alexandra? Here she is here. Alexandra is your Unity licensed teacher. And the role of the licensed teacher was to support the minister. I said that to her the other night. And then I realized, no, she's not supporting the minister. She's supporting the minister and ministry. And that's the role that she's undertaken joyfully, gladly, and I've seen her grow. We celebrated her licensing. And then there's Jerry. Jerry's also at the back. Jerry's doing her. As the past board president, Alexa and Jerry got their heads together when Rhona came to speak here as a guest. And they said, we've got to get her. We've got to do something. And so they scooped her up with an offer of support. An offer of support. And that's exactly what this congregation has given to Rev Rhona all the way through. So, in saying that it's our ordination, I'd like to also acknowledge and have just a few special people come. But I want you to know that whether you've served as a musician, whether you've served as PowerPoint, ushers, greeters, or kitchen staff, or should I say our welcoming and hospitality team. When you see the place set out there, if you haven't been through the basics there, you'll see how much effort they put in. So what's happening then is Rev Rhona comes to speak, and Jerry and Alexandra get the bug. So they get together and they ask if they can support her. She says yes. That's one of the first steps she took. Then came some things, some ideas she had to put into place. She had Jackie Woodside come and do a workshop. How many went to Jackie's workshop? Wow, and you're still here. No, I mean that in all good sense. You're here fulfilling your commitment to come up higher. See, it's a privilege to be here. And then there was Aaron Johans came along, and he did his PhD study thing with the technical terms I can't remember, but anyways, they did a lot of work and put that all together about where you're going in the future. Future forming? Did I got that right? There's Aaron. So then we come up to the present. All of you here have served in some way. And there's two other people I'd like to acknowledge. Gladys Swedick. Gladys at the back. And Merlin. These two people went into Unity of Vancouver and took a course on becoming prayer chaplains. And based on Unity's beliefs and ideas and principles, they became prayer chaplains. And they've been holding prayer with a group of, you don't have to put your hands up, and I know who you are. A group of people who steadfastly have held in prayer when the outer circumstances look different. But all was well. That something wonderful was happening here. They had the faith. Now Merlin also does this front. and sows beautifully. Gladys also serves on the board. And so I'd like to invite the members of the board, past and present, to please stand. Thank you for your service. Thank you for saying yes. That's really what ordination is about. It's saying yes to that inner urging, that call to come up higher. I see my soul rising. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. So that's how we celebrate our ordination. I'd like you just to kind of look around, and if you haven't put up your hand or you haven't been asked to stand, know that you are acknowledged and appreciated. Know that you are welcome here. Know that you belong. So give yourselves some silent approval as you look around and say yes. There's Dr. Jim, and Hilda, and Audrey, the oldest member. No, not the oldest necessarily, but the longest member. It's okay, Audrey celebrated her 90th birthday. 91st. And I see Hank Hellman? Eric Hellman, who speaks here often. Just look around and appreciate. Thank you, God. Thank you for this day of celebrating our ordination.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say, I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood
Rhona has been planning this day for a long time, and your presence here has made her dreams come true. We have gathered here today as a sacred community of friends, family, ministers, and congregants to celebrate the ordination of Rev Rhona Segarra. I'm grateful that you are here to honor her work, her dedication, her commitment. The love and the support in this room from each one of you is what has paved the way for Rhona's undertaking and her success. Please join me in prayer. We are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We recognize the power and the presence that is only good and acknowledge that it is this power that does the holy work in us, through us, as us. Blessed Spirit, we feel the divine blessings of love and joy upon this special occasion, on this day of completion and this day of beginnings. We shower blessings on Rhona as she steps into deeper dedication, service, and discovery of who she has been called to be. We affirm the presence of God is within us, and that presence of all that Spirit is will continue to surround, fulfill, uplift, and inspire Rhona as she moves forward to continue ministering in our world. And so it is. Amen. Before Rhona affirms her commitment to ministry and to herself, we will have a spiritual baptism. And so, Rhona, would you come on up here? In Unity, we see this as a time to gently and consciously clear anything that does not serve our highest good. We know that Rhona is already created in perfection and wholeness. And this is a time to remember that truth and to recommit to that truth. Rhona, are you ready to let go of anything that stands in the way of your being a full expression of all that is good? I baptize you in the name of the Father, the one power, the one presence. I baptize you in the name of the Christ, the expression of all that is good in human form. I baptize you in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is the activity of Spirit and all good in our world and yourself, as you and through you. And so it is. Rhona, do you dedicate yourself to the principles of truth as taught and exemplified by our way shower, Jesus the Christ?
I do.
Do you consecrate yourself to God and in so doing surrender any personal ambition so that divine order is expressing through you in your service to mankind, to humankind?
I do.
Do you consecrate yourself to promote the welfare and the growth of this ministry and the Unity movement, to follow its principles, and to always look to the Christ within for wisdom, guidance, and inspiration? Do you promise to minister faithfully and lovingly, to always seek to be an example of patience and loving kindness?
I do.
Are you willing to accept this role of leadership and all that it symbolizes, not to be set apart, but to be one with this spiritual community, to be forgiving, to instruct, to comfort, to listen in confidence, to lead faithfully, and to minister with care, respect, and understanding? Are you willing to maintain a strong prayer practice, to teach by example, to live in integrity, and to be an active presence in the Unity movement? Then I pray, knowing that Infinite Spirit empowers you to do all things, gives you the strength to faithfully accomplish your dreams and the mission of this ministry. Before we close in prayer, there's a verse that I would like to share from Proverbs I'll see if I can get through this. I think it so perfectly describes Rhona. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Your stool. We've had some beautiful words attributed to Rhona, grace and compassion and living an example, and I thought dignity and strength were two more. So may you wear this in peace, in faith, and in joy. Joy. I can see that you are in good hands. You're in good hands. Let us pray one more time. Breathe in us, Divine Spirit. This is a sacred moment, a day of recognition, a day of honoring. It is also the day we make a commitment to each other to always look to the Christ within in all of our endeavors. We affirm that we are each a unique expression of the divine, and that we always strive to behold the goodness in each other and together create a dynamic and thriving ministry. Amen. So it is.
Good morning. Still morning. So my name is Alexandra, and as you heard from Reverend Joy, I'm a licensed Unity teacher, and I also serve here as ministry coordinator. I'm actually not the only licensed Unity teacher here. That's Dr. Jim Cliff. He got started way before me. So I'm going to share just some of my personal experiences with this amazing woman known as Rev Rhona Segarra. I remember going on 10 years. 10 years in the fall is when I moved to the West Coast. And part of my spiritual journey took me to White Rock, Unity of White Rock. And yeah, shout out to White Rock. And that's where I first met Rhona. And I recognized right away a kindred spirit. I saw in her someone who was committed to unity and more than that, to her spiritual journey. And eventually I found my spiritual home here at Unity. What was then Unity in Action, now Unity of New Westminster. And I continued along my spiritual journey, just as Rhona did. And every now and then we would come together through divine order at Party Bazaar. And I knew that she was considering maybe becoming a licensed Unity teacher. Just knew that she had a calling, I knew that. So I'd say, so how are you? And then we chatted, and then I'd say, so how, have you taken any classes? What's happening? Well, not quite yet, life. And yet I knew that whenever the time was right, Rhona would begin that next stage of her spiritual journey. And sure enough, she did. She had to take some of the classes that I took as a licensed Unity teacher in preparation to enter her ministerial path. And as Reverend Joy also shared, in December of 2016, Rhona was a guest speaker. And what she did mention is that at the end of her talk, she got a standing ovation. And it was at that moment, Jerry, I think, who had been on sound that day, as we were walking out, we just kind of looked at each other and went, yeah, this is it. Yes. And then it was all in divine order again from there. Eventually, I did some traveling. I was out of the country. And before I left, I knew that we were trying to wangle away to get this lovely lady to become our spiritual leader. And so what happened is, I literally had a prayer on my travels. I would like to have Rhona be our spiritual leader for at least 2 Sundays a week. 2 Sundays a month. Sorry, as if you don't have enough to do. Yeah, 2 Sundays a month. And so what happened is, within about a week of that, on my traveling, I check email now and then, I got an email from Jerry saying, guess what? And he informed me that Rhona had agreed to come 3 times a month, 3 Sundays, and then that we would, when I got back, meet with her to find out how we could support her, because by then she was full tilt on the ministerial path, and we could support her, but also reap the benefits of her presence here at Unity of New Westminster. And the journey continued. We saw her coming in after how many 4 nights a week of classes, projects due, and I felt like I was, like a witness to the work that it takes to become a minister. And it was my honor and privilege at the Unity People's Convention that was just held June 16th to the 21st to attend the ordination ceremony for Rhona. I was an honorary member of the Tunbridge Segarra clan that day, with Rhona, her mother, Jill, her sister, wherever Jill ended up.
and Walt, her husband. And it was the culmination of her journey as on her spiritual path to become a minister. She's now, by the way, a triple threat. She got her Master's of Divinity, she's a licensed Unity minister, and an ordained Unity minister. So she accomplished a lot all in one person. And I was not missing that for anything. So it was such an honor and privilege to be part of that, Rhona. And Rhona and I have something in common besides our love of unity and unity of New Westminster, is we tend to get emotional and shed a few tears. So I always have to watch out, like, don't cry, Rhona, because I'm going to start. So, yeah, too late, already happened. But now, here at Unity of New Westminster, everyone in their own way contributes. And there was a recurring theme that came up through the convention that we just attended, and it was, it takes a village. Well, Unity of New Westminster is a village. And we have chosen as the head of our village, Rev Rhona Segarra. And I am confident that with her leadership, that we are going to prosper, that we will grow and we will evolve. And I am so excited to be part of that aspect of your spiritual journey. So, congratulations. No one deserves it more. No one has worked harder. And we are so blessed. You're welcome. Just to show you how much we like her, we bought her a gift. So I'm going to invite Gisela, who is our current board chair, to come up and present a gift from our congregation to Rhona on behalf of her ordination. So I invite you to come up, Rhona. Hello, Rhona.
I've just known you for the past 2.5 years, but it's been such an inspiration, such a pleasure to have you with us now. So, dear Rhona, dear Reverend Rhona, dear our Reverend Rhona, on behalf of the congregation, I want to give you this gift. It's an invisible gift from you. And I just want to say it's been such a joy, and I think we all love you. You have been here, shared your wisdom, your kindness, your understanding, your compassion, full of grace. I thank you so much. We thank you so much. We love you. And we look forward to having you here for a long time.
And now I'm going to invite David Powell, son of Rhona Segarra, to come and share some of his thoughts and, I'm sure, feelings about how proud he is of his mom today.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Wish I had more time to prepare. I remember when I was asked to speak as if it was yesterday. And, I shouldn't say asked so much as informed. Of course, it wasn't remarks whenever she does them. It's quite a bit more than I had time to give, so I just want to make sure we're all managing our expectations for the next few minutes here as I get a chance to speak. But I think that kind of speaks to how fortunate everyone here is that she's able to dedicate so much time to what she's going to continue to do here. More than that, she's hopelessly committed to it, did this in the midst of a million other things, did her talks here while still studying to achieve what she's now achieved. It's a very beautiful thing. You likely will have her for the long haul, as you just said. I'm thinking back to my mom's work history. I can't think of anything she's had less than, it feels like a decade each time. And I'm very excited for her now, to be completely honest, because she used to work in management as a supervisor and manager and regional managers. And I've had some jobs like that. And you have to talk a lot in those jobs, but people don't usually like to listen or hear what you're saying. I think she may have scored with this one. I think she may have found a lot. But I think that, and she'd be the first one to say this, she's very fortunate as well to have everyone here from so many different locations, from Ontario, from the States, from the island, from White Rock, from New West. She's a very lucky lady as well, so give it up to all of you guys here as well. You know, I'm sure there was more I had thought of in that seat. I didn't write it down. That wasn't a bit. I really did have something else this time. I think you're all of you, my mom included, in for a very fun ride over the next few years. Thanks a lot.
You're amazing. My dear friends and neighbors, beloved family, members of the Board of Directors of Unity of New Westminster, our distinguished guests, and you who might be watching this stream, welcome. Thank you so much for coming out today and joining us in sharing this special moment for Rhona. It's so great to have you all here today. I've got to start by telling you that I nearly didn't get to speak with you today. When I asked Rhona if I could say a few words, she looked at me and said, "You know." The last time you spoke, you got a little long-winded and went overtime. So she said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. You can speak. You have 3 minutes." I said, "What? 3 minutes? I can't even say hello." But seriously, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to see all of your wonderful, smiling faces. I'd like to begin by asking a question. Have you ever been paralyzed by fear? Such was a question that was posed by Rhona Segarra during a talk here on Mother's Day, May the 12th, when she praised the songs and the sound of music. Some of you might remember that. Well, I am here to affirm that Rhona absolutely exemplifies a woman of courage who, when faced with a major career crisis herself, looked fear straight in the eye and stood firm. A number of years ago, as some of you know, Rhona was faced with a major conflict in her work. One that may have debilitated some, embittered others, and completely devastated a few. But Rhona took a bad situation and turned it into a positive thing for herself and her life. Without hesitating, without looking back, without wavering in her resolve, she stood firm. She experienced a new opportunity. She welcomed the moment, she embraced the opportunity, and she forged ahead. And as a result, she has achieved a high and important place in the hearts of many, as experienced here today by this huge outpouring of admiration and love. Today, I know, she said, don't look at your notes. I'm almost done, I'm almost done. Yes, David, I have notes. Today, I'm going to get nearly to the end here because my 3 minutes are up. So today we celebrate a monumental achievement as we congratulate our newly minted, highly regarded, and fervently loved Rev Rhona Segarra. We are grateful for your courage, impressed by your tenacity, awed by your resilience and your resolve to accomplish your divine calling. We are blessed by your presence, and we bless you in your new role as minister. Congratulations. We love you. I love you. At this moment, I was prepared to give you flowers, but I can't carry them all. So, thank you for your endurance in this journey and your resolve to do it. You're beautiful.
just cowboys, truck drivers, and pain. Well, this is our way to say thanks for the spiel, and we hope there's no shortage of rain. Some chats without any caveats, warming our hearts like a flu. Thanks for the spiel, here's a song that is real, from the kids in the pews to you. Some chats without any caveats, warming our hearts like a flu. Thanks for the spiel, here's a song that is real, from us kids in the pews to you. The seculars just stay up, taking lots of the bread. Things just ain't what they used to be. Though our kids are after the Canadian dream, and they're working for big companies. Now if we come by, when you're out in the sun, we'll hug you 'cause you are our friend. These days when everyone's taking so much, there's our Rhona giving back in. Strong chats without any caveats, warming our hearts like a flu. Thanks for the spiel, here's a song that is real, from us kids in the pews to you. Chats without any caveats, warming our hearts like a flu. Thanks for the spiel, here's a song that is real, from us kids in the pews to you.
Thank you, you guys. I won't bore you with lots of words today because we'll have lots of time for that in the future. And I want to tell you how very touched I am to see so many of you here, so many of my friends from so many parts of my life, from my flamenco family to my Toastmasters family to my Unity of White Rock family, to the people who are here who live in the building that Walt and I live in, as well as people who are part of our community here at Unity of New Westminster, friends from various other places, beloved people who came all the way up from Windward. Thank you. And then to our family. I was joking earlier that at my father's memorial service earlier this year, they asked the family to gather in a separate room. And there were probably more than half of the people there in the family room. And the reason is because we all identify as family together. And I'm so blessed to know that that is true for everybody who is here today. This is my family. I thank my mom for having me. I thank, you're welcome, I know, it was sad.
Me too, by the way.
Well, thanks to David, thank you. I apologize for not letting you know that you were supposed to be speaking today. I thought you did wonderfully. Thank you. My beloved son, my beloved husband, my beautiful aunt who traveled all the way from Peterborough, Ontario to be here today. Godmother, and then all of my family, my brothers and sisters, Tracy, Jill, who's probably doing food, yes, my brother David with Mary and John, and Taylor, who is probably playing downstairs, Marcus, Karen, Aaron, Tristan, I see you down there. You want to come say hi? Come on. And Aaron's mom. To all of you, my family, Beth, hi. Thank you so much for being here. Please stay and join us for some food. We forgive you. You didn't take too long. I am so very blessed by each of you. Thank you to this whole community for coming together, for the music, for everything. We sing a song every week here as part of our offering. And by the way, we aren't taking an offering. Please, if you would like to leave something for this ministry, just put it in one of the baskets. But we sing a song every week that is, I am so blessed. And today I cannot say that enough. Thank you all so very much. It is such a privilege to know you all. I love you. And we end our service every week with two songs. One is Let There Be Peace on Earth, and the other one is a variation of the Prayer for Protection, which was taken on Apollo 11 and left on the moon. And so if you don't know the words, they'll be up on the board and you'll get the tune. It's pretty easy. So let's stand and hold hands if that's comfortable for you as we sing and close our song, close our service.